Hey, what's up you lovely people, and welcome back to your weekly Wednesday at Tech with your host Gnome T. So before we actually get into the video, make sure to like, subscribe and turn those notification bells on if you want to see more content like this, plus some gaming and some reacts. Also, comment in the box below, let me know how your day is going, because it's nice to interact with the audience that is watching, especially for the amount of viewers I do get sometimes, and with the amount of subscribers. I do want to create those relationships and just build it while I'm on this journey today and in the future. But if you haven't seen the title in the description or the box below under this video, then yes, we are doing a Ryzen 5 3600 overclock plus some temperature checks and seeing how well the Hyper 103 handles those increased frequency. Yes, you see me say and talk about the Hyper 103 a lot, especially in the old videos when I started doing videos, and yes, I've still got it, so I want to bring that back today. If you come and join me over onto the on-screen right here, I'm going to be showing you the softwares I'm going to use, plus some extra content of benchmarks and games I'm going to be using for today's video. So let's have a look at what we are using. So we're going to be using CPU ID HW monitor just to measure our temperatures and our frequencies. Also we're going to be using CPU Z to obviously check our core speed and our bus speeds and seeing if everything's quite sweet there. Also, it's going to tell us our voltages and stuff, which is quite nice. But also, we're going to be using CPU AMD Ryzen Master software, which I'll go into the tiniest bit. But obviously, we're going to be using Heaven Benchmark, Valorant, and Cinebench R20. I believe it's R20, just to show our FPSs and seeing how well the increased core increased core voltage and core frequencies hold, and how much FPS we get from that. It doesn't help. I'm going to say this now. It doesn't help that. For me, I am using the MSI Radeon RX 570 8GB variant. I know you can at me in the comments below. I know it's not a great GPU to use. It is very good for beginner users and people who are getting into the gaming world, such as myself, but I think I've gone way past that, and I think it's time for me to upgrade my GPU. Going back to the actual topic of the video, you might be wondering, oh, you can just go into the BIOS and change the frequencies and the voltage like that. And you are right, I could do that. But the purpose of today's video, I really wanted to get you lot to come with me and show off a really simple way of doing it. This is for amateurs, and I'm talking about the AMD Ryzen Master software, and you might not know what the hell that is. And it is basically a software for your CPU. I'm sorry for Intel users. I know, before we actually get into this, I know you might be wondering, oh, where's the love for the i5 users and the i7 users? Oh man, we need some love too. And yes, you do. I know you do. But I'm really sorry. Today's video is more aimed for AMD Ryzen users. I know, like, Intel users, you can follow along and just change it yourself. But I know the software ain't going to support Intel, so I'm sorry for that. Let's actually hop back onto the topic and hop into this software. So don't panic. Don't be alarmed. I know there's a lot of numbers and a lot of information on this list and on this software. I'm going to take you through it. So we've got ourselves some drop down menus. So our temperature, speed, power and current. We've got our control mode, our core section. This is just the home page, by the way. We're going to hop into these profiles on the left side in a minute. But this basically tells you your idle temperatures, which is literally 48 degrees for me. It was running at 39, but I have warmed it up. I've left it running for a good 40 minutes. So it's come up to temperature. This is our peak speed, so this is where all of our cores combined are using the amount of frequency. So literally altogether it's 1.1 gigahertz at an average. Our socket power, which is out of 88 watts it can use, it's only using 39-40%, and it tells you right here the amount of wattage it's using. So 18, 16, 15, I don't know, it's not really wanting to, it always jumps up and down, so whatever. Our socket power, which is VDDCR socket power, which it will tell you right here anyway. Yeah, so what that is, from my knowledge and understanding, is that it's uncore registration of GPU and CPU usage. It will tell you, you can search it up and you can dive into more deeply there if that interests you, but that's how much knowledge I have. I know it's not the greatest, but we're not really going to be going into that today anyway. Obviously, we're going to hop into these modes. There's obviously creator, game mode and profile 1. It's going to be the exact same when you download this software, by the way, but don't you worry, we are going to go straight into profile 1. We're not going to mess around with the other profiles today. So with our profiles, okay, this is another whole kettle of fish, and don't worry, calm down, it's cool. I got you by the hand, and we're going to go through this together. So a control mode is literally what modes we can actually go into for today, and core section is obviously going to tell us our cores. Literally, because it's on default, we can only turn off the cores, and we don't want to do that because we want to use all of our cores. Voltage control is going to be the amount of voltage we can use. I'll go into that in a minute. And additional control, which basically tells us, do we want to use multi-threading or not? Of course we want to use it, why not? Memory control, we're just going to turn it off. We're actually not even going to look at that because that's probably freaked a lot of you out. And hopefully you haven't clicked off the video. Now everything looks a lot better. So, eco mode. What's eco mode? It's literally low power condition. It tells you right here. So it doesn't use a lot of power, and it can actually help you if you want to just browse and not use a lot of power. Precision boost overdrive is just talking about, see, it says right here, infrastructure limits up to limits of the board, potentially achieving high sustained frequencies. That is literally the same as auto overclocking. They're both the same thing, and like auto overclocking is literally for babies, and you lot are not babies. You lot are literally, on my audience, it shows that you're between the ages of 18 and 24. So this is going to be more for manual. We're going to be doing manual overclocking today, which is, it is quite amateur. I could go into the BIOS, like I said at the start of the video, and just do it there because I'm more experienced, but I kind of want to show you lot a really simple, easy way of doing it so you don't get lost. Some of you might have got lost already, but it's fine. You can come back to the video, rewatch it, and then catch up there. It's really weird. This part is quite interesting. You've got these little Minesweeper icons that here, right? And you can turn those on, make them green. That means you can unlock them. We're just going to turn this one on next to CCD0, the drop down menu. We're going to turn that on. Literally what that does, it allows you to edit all of the frequencies for every single core. We are going to edit and take away 3600 and put it at 4200. Why not? It's a very simple start to our overclocking process, and yeah, literally. And as soon as we press enter, every single core changes to 4200, which is literally what we want. You could go and individually change every single core, but you don't want to do that unless if you're super experienced. I would do it if my mate Brendan was here, but he lives all the way in Ireland, so he's definitely not going to join me on today's video. But yeah, we can just go straight from these down to our voltage control. So with your increased core frequency, you definitely want to increase your voltage, so then it can, so the increased frequencies can handle the amount of power it draws to boot. Literally 1.2 is so low, it's not even going to boot. If you're lucky, if it boots, and I don't think it would do that today if we did it on 1.2. So we're going to set it to 1.35, which is a very nice steady voltage control increase. It's going to help a lot of people have a lot of leeway in terms of increasing their core frequencies. So we're going to say at 1.35. Additional control, simultaneous multi-threading, we're going to leave that on because there's no point turning it off for today. I'm actually just going to turn that drop down menu off, and we're actually going to focus on these two. So now we've actually got a profile set, we can press apply, and all that does is reboots us and gets us back into the menu. So what I'm going to do, you can apply and test, but there's no point. We're going to apply and test it through our benchmarking tools. So I'm going to quickly apply. Profile 1, success. Oh wow, okay, that's even easier. We don't need to restart. Wow, it actually sets it up for you on screen. It actually doesn't tell you to go back into reboot mode, and then it does it there. Sorry, I know like these videos are quite interesting. I do want them to be entertaining, so I don't put myself through the process before I start videoing, because then that means I know what I'm doing in terms of software and editing like this. I kind of want to experience the whole increased frequencies and that kind of journey, so then you get my full reaction. Like literally now, I didn't think, I thought I was going to get rebooted back into Windows, but we actually got ourselves a fully overclock without even needing to reboot. That's awesome. Obviously the voltage, yeah, we got ourselves a 1.35 volts. So Uni Engine Heaven Benchmark 4.0 Basic Edition, fair enough. Obviously we're going to leave all of these, yeah, we're going to have the quality high. The tessellation, stereo, we don't need to mess around with these. Multi-monitor, we don't have multi-monitor. Anti-aliasing, we're going to leave it at ×2. Resolution 1920 by 1080. So then we're going to run Heaven Benchmark. Like I said, I'm going to go through the benchmark really quickly, and then I'll show you a lot of the results after. Hello, Yo, welcome back. We are now actually hit the end of our benchmark for Heaven benchmark, and the results are pretty dang awesome. We got ourselves an average FPS rating of 87.1, score 2195. Obviously the minimum FPS was 40 and the max FPS was 166. Before, I wish I kept the results, it's quite annoying, but we actually managed to get, I think, 82 on our frequency of 3.6. So a good, 6 FPS increase will change a lot in game. It's actually quite nice. So I'm going to click save and let's actually hop on to Valorant, our second benchmark. Yo, I'm back. Sorry, I just had to sort out some stuff. Valorant is deciding not to behave, and I don't know why. So instead of Valorant, we're actually just going to go and use an alternative. We're going to be using CSGO. I don't know why Valorant's just stuck at 15 FPS. It shouldn't be doing that. I went through all the settings for, you know what, maybe it's just some technical issue, but it's not. I don't know why, Valorant's just not behaving well. So instead, I'm going to be using Cinebench. I'm going to be using Counter-Strike as a quick guide. Show off some FPSs in that, and then we can hop on to Cinebench. Sorry for the really long video. I did have Valorant working. It was working before I even started the video. Had everything running up, and now it's just deciding not to behave. So I'm just gonna quickly back out, and I'll meet you lot in game. So far we're getting like high 230s and even like 250s. I know on the 3.6 frequency we was 3.6 gigahertz frequency was actually getting like really weird numbers. Oh god, I'm getting myself out of here. Oh, that's an enemy. Yeah, we're actually looking pretty promising. I know, oh Jesus, I know like before we was getting quite high 200s. Go away. That's it. We're actually getting some decent FPS levels. It is really mixing about like the high 200s. I think it's like more like low 200s. Now you've got some CSGO gameplay. We are now going to be going into Cinebench R20. I believe it's R20. It might actually give us R15. I hope it doesn't. Awesome. So we actually did this before on a 3.6 gigahertz. 6 cores, 12 threads. We've got a total score of 3,264. This is R20. Awesome. So we're just going to actually bring this in the drop menu. We're going to make it small. Cinebench R20 is going to be running. And then while that's running, we don't need to worry about that. We're going to focus on this temperature here. So far it's actually going higher, 83 degrees Celsius. It seems like it's sticking at 83 degrees Celsius on a 4.2 gigahertz frequency, which is okay. It's comfortable. Uh-oh, it's going up. Oh no. It's okay. It's comfortable. It's not bad. The Hyper 103, I didn't really expect much from it. I expected it to handle some temperatures at increased frequencies. There you go. Here is the final results of our CPU benchmark on Cinebench R20. So we actually got an increased score of 200, which is actually really, really good. That'll show a lot of performance increase when it comes to playing games. So yeah, actually nice. We got our scores right here. And now we're gonna go up to 4.4. We're gonna stick at 4.4 because I'm a bit scared that if we go any higher, we're gonna burn the CPU out and then I have to go buy a whole new one. Awesome, it's applied successfully. So now we're running at 4 gigahertz. If we're going to CPU Z, yep, now we're at a core speed of 4.4. We're gonna do the exact same Cinebench stuff. We're gonna do the exact same benchmarks instead of Valorant. Obviously I'll be using CSGO. And then I'll quickly skip that, fast forward that, and then I'll give you all the results there. Hello. So we just did our second run and it's really weird. We got the exact same score in terms of average FPS from our first one when we was on 4.2 gigahertz at 87.2. The score, on the other hand, we actually got an increase by 5 and an increase of 4 from our first one. Minimum FPS did go up and the max FPS did go up as well. We're going to go straight into CSGO again, see if we can get any increased FPSs on a 4.4 gigahertz frequency. I'll see you lot in the menu. Hey, how's it going? We are actually in game now. One thing I did forget to do is show you the settings I'm using. So we'll quickly go through them. Someone will probably just come and kill me in a minute. Medium, disable medium, enable ×2, and texture filtering ×4. Just showing you what settings I'm using. So far we're getting around similar results from what was getting on a 4.4 from our 4.2 gigahertz frequency. It's quite interesting. So far we're getting around 220s, 250s, and sometimes even the 300s. Not the scores that we were expecting actually. It seems to be running very similar to the 4.2 gigahertz. Interesting. Scores are looking very weird, but 350s, 290s. This is very similar to scores I'll be getting from a 4.2 gigahertz frequency, which is quite weird. It is very weird. Oh, no. That's my hand. Right. Okay. We've got some really interesting scores. I'm gonna hop out. We've been playing this for about a few minutes, so I'm just gonna hop out of here. Very strange for 4.4. Getting very similar results to a 4.2. Right. Lastly, before we actually end this video, we're going to be using our Cinebench R20 again. We're going to be measuring our temperatures as well whilst this is running. So 3452 on a 4.2 gigahertz frequency, on the 3.6 gigahertz frequency, and now we're going to be running it again on the 4.4. Let's see how well it does, and let's see what the temperatures show us. Let's run it. Oh, hello. Seems like it doesn't want to do it on 4.4. Interesting. I'm going to try it again. Let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to run again. Oh! No, it's not. Okay. Cinebench is not actually liking 4.4 gigahertz. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go into AMD Ryzen Master. We're gonna edit this, decrease it down to 4.3. Let's see if it likes that. Wow, hello. Alright, awesome. We just finished our Cinebench R20 run and we actually got some decent results. We got an extra 100 over our last score. So it was 3452 and now it's 3540, which is, well, it's actually not 100, it's like 97, which is good. It's actually a pretty decent increase, but that was running it on 4.3. We did have some bug reports on 4.4 and Cinebench was not liking 4.4 at all. I think for today's video I'm actually going to leave it on 4.2. We got some promising results. It was quite an interesting video today. So we've now ran our tests on 4.2 and 4.4, but for Cinebench it was 4.2 and 4.3. It wasn't like a 4.4. It was running two bug reports, so we had to decrease the frequency like that, but keep the voltage at the same. So that managed to do it. It was a bit weird. I'll show up the results on the screen now. So with our 4.2 gigahertz frequency on Heaven Benchmark, we was running 87.2, which average FPS rate. It's quite interesting. I'll get the scores up right here. And then for CSGO, it was running at 315 FPS, and Cinebench was running a score of 3452. With the temperatures as well, it was running at an 84 degrees Celsius, which was shown on the CPU on HW monitor. But now when we increased to 4.4 gigahertz, we ran it on Heaven Benchmark. We actually got the same exact score, but with a higher total score, if that makes sense. So our FPS average was 87.2, but our score was 2196, and on 4.2 it was 2192, which is quite interesting. CSGO was running at an average of 300, which is actually 15 FPS lower than it was on the 4.2 gigahertz. So on 4.4 it was running 300 FPS average. Cinebench, we actually got a total score of 3540, but average temperature was really high. It was 87 degrees Celsius, which is not healthy for anyone that is overclocking, unless if you have a really decent cooler. Also for me, it was a Hyper 103, and it didn't really do too well with the Ryzen 5 3600 and at high clock speeds, which is quite typical, especially with a budget low profile cooler anyway. I was kind of expecting that. If I did want to run the CPU at a 4.4 gigahertz frequency, then I probably would have to get a better air cooler, maybe some Noctua one, or even some AIO cooler. Thank you for reaching to the end of the video. I know it's been quite long, but I did wanted to show you like how the software works and the benchmarks we used, and see how much FPS we got from that, and also show off the temperatures and see how the Hyper 103 kept up with the increased frequencies. 4.4 gigahertz, not so good. 4.2 gigahertz, it's okay. You can get away with 84 degrees. I wouldn't recommend going to 4.2 gigahertz unless you had a better cooler. So maybe instead of the Hyper 103, maybe try the Noctua cooler. I know they're very expensive, but if you go back on my old video when I was talking about the Hyper 103 against other CPU coolers, then you can find out which one is best suitable for you. But like I said, thank you for coming along and enjoying the video, and thank you for coming to the end of this video. Like I said, if you enjoy this content and you want to see more content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn those notification bells on. And also comment in the box, tell me how your day's going, how is everything going at home. I know quarantine's quite reduced and is eased now, but I know people are still staying indoors. People don't want to risk it, so I want to know how you lot are going and how everything's going at home. Like I said, this has been your host, Noam T. Thank you for sticking along with the journey, and I'm signing out. Peace.